Do you have issues with tennis elbow or had tennis elbow in the past? Here are 6 rackets that could help to prevent you from getting one again. You should absolutely go to the doctor if you have a tennis elbow, because a racket can only help you so far. We are starting with the beginners and gradually progress to the more advanced rackets. So let's dive into the video. But before we start talking about certain rackets, we have to define the characteristics of an arm-friendly racket. So you can find your tennis racket even though you do not like my recommendations. For me, an arm-friendly racket has the following. It is forgiving, ergo big head size, or a relatively big sweet spot. It has a low stiffness with a relatively low dwell time as well, so your forearm does not have to work as much. It is also relatively head light and therefore has a pretty low swing weight, which makes this racket easy to swing and does not enhance the strain on your forearm as much. So now let's talk about the certain rackets. I wanted to give you both team rackets of head because they are very similar. The Speed team and the Gravity team are having both a very big 100-inch head size. The Gravity has a 16x20 string pattern and weighs 285 grams. The Speed team has a 16x19 string pattern and weighs 270 grams. Of course, we also get a very thick 24mm frame for a lot of power. So the big difference to other power rackets like this are the low stiffness of both. Their flex rating are both in the low 60s. What that does is that you get an unbelievably good combination of easy access to power and spin with a lot of feedback and also a big amount of forgiveness. The big head size, the thick beam and the 60x19 string pattern gives you the easy access to spin and power you want as a beginner, while the low flex enhances the control and the feel. Also, the stability of those rackets are surprisingly good for their specs. So all of that, not only are those rackets very good for every beginner, but also make these two frames very comfortable and easy on the arm. I can only recommend both for any beginner to give them a try. Now we have to continue with head. I promise it is the last head racket of the video. The Gravity MP is almost as comfortable as the Gravity team. It comes with a slightly smaller head size of 100 inches, 295 grams and a 16x20 string pattern and a 22mm beam. What makes this racket so comfortable is not only the easy maneuverability but also the soft frame. Again, we are pretty low at the 62 RA flex rating. So now we can combine everything described with the teardrop head shape of the Gravity and we get a forgiving, softly playing experience where you still have a decent amount of power and a lot of spin. You even get a bit better control as you have one string more in the 16x20 and a slightly more head heavy balance. Also combine that with the auxiliary technology, which provides a good amount of stability. So overall a fantastic and arm friendly racket by head yet again. I think any intermediate player can handle the VCore 98. It is a very easy to swing as it has not a really high swing weight and a typical Yonex head shape makes this racket more a 99 or even 100 to play. So this 305 gram racket with a 16x19 string pattern provides a lot of good trades, and one is of course the amount of spin and power you can generate. While this racket is not a powerhouse, it is certainly very easy to swing. Furthermore, I would also think of the VCore 98 as a very forgiving racket with a soft impact. Of course, vibration dampening mesh makes this racket a bit muted and too mushy, but that is also what makes it very arm friendly. Probably the only downside for me is that this racket is a little less stable as I like it to be, especially when you hit the ball a little bit outside of the sweet spot. You really feel the racket shaking. For me, that was a big deal, but for you it could be very different. But other than that, I really enjoyed this racket a lot. I really can recommend this racket for every one of you who like a little more controlled intermediate frame with a good amount of spin, which is also very forgiving. let's continue with the advanced players rackets, and I have picked two which already are very popular, and the first is the Wilson Blade 98. I have yet to test the newer version, but as it is very expensive anyway, the V8 is probably the better option anyway for now. So the Blade 98, for those who don't know the specs, comes in at 305 grams, 16x19 string pattern, a 98 head size, a low stiffness of 61, a 21mm beam, and a very low swing weight of 317. All of that combined makes a fantastic control and easy to use advanced player's frame. The low swing weight and balance make this racket fast to swing, and you can generate a lot of racket at speed. The stiffness, thin beam and the 98 head size gives a ton of control. The 16x19 string pattern also has a big impact on the spin and power potential. It is just a fantastic all-round package. Not only that, but the Blade 98 is very unfriendly. That is not only because of the specs, but also the vibration technology Wilson uses. It is a bit muted, but if you do not use a dampener, you still have a good feel on the ball and it is fine. Now the last racket, and this will be my future racket as well. The Yonex Percept 97 is the whole package for forgiveness and arm-friendliness, with a big factor for control and feel. It just ticks all the boxes for me. The Percept has a 97 head size, weighs 310 grams, has a 60x19 string pattern, a low stiffness of 60, a 21mm beam and a swing weight of 315. It is pretty similar to the Blade in terms of specs, but there is also a big difference. Firstly, the 97-inch head size is not an issue for me, as it feels more like a 98 with the head shape of Yonex. Second, the spin potential is better than most other 97s. Next, the technology servo filter not only helps with vibration dampening, which helps to make it more arm friendly but does not mute the racket too much. You still have a better feel than the Blade and also the previous version, the VCore Pro 97. The low swing weight and the rest of the specs turn this racket in a racket head speed machine, where I can also swing fully with confidence and the ball still stays in the court. If you are that kind of player who likes to do that, you have a fantastic option right here with the Percept 97. If you have any rackets to add, please leave a comment down below. If you're interested and have more time, check out this video next.